Imagine a company where decisions are made by the collective will of its members rather than a single CEO. This radical shift in governance is embodied in what we call Decentralized Autonomous Organizations, or DAOs. At their core, DAOs operate on the principles of decentralization and collective decision-making, fundamentally changing the way organizations can function. Picture a traditional company where a handful of executives hold the reins and dictate the direction. In contrast, a DAO is designed to eliminate that central authority. Instead, it relies on smart contracts, self-executing agreements coded on a blockchain that facilitate transparent and automated decision-making processes. In a DAO, every member has a stake in the organization's success, and their voices can shape its trajectory. This collective governance model empowers individuals, allowing them to propose and vote on initiatives, budget allocations, or even changes to the governing rules themselves. This structure not only democratizes power but also ensures that decisions reflect the interests of the community rather than a select few. For instance, consider a scenario where a new project proposal is on the table. Instead of a boardroom debate led by a few executives, all members can weigh in, express their opinions, and ultimately decide through a voting mechanism, ensuring that every vote counts. The significance of DAOs extends beyond merely changing who makes decisions. They represent a shift toward a more equitable system of governance, one where transparency and participation are paramount. The absence of the central authority also minimizes the risk of corruption and mismanagement, as actions are recorded on the blockchain, accessible for all to see. Yet this raises critical questions about accountability and the balance between human judgment and automated processes. As we dive deeper into the mechanics of DAOs, we will explore various voting mechanisms that can be employed, each influencing how decisions are made and how power is distributed among members. Reflecting on this new governance landscape, we must ask ourselves, can a fully automated organization truly make the best decisions for its community? And as we navigate these uncharted waters, how might we ensure that, while we embrace innovation, we do not lose sight of the human element in governance? This tension between automation and human input will be a recurring theme in our exploration of DAOs. Imagine a scenario where your vote not only counts, but also carries weight based on how much you have invested in a community initiative. This is not merely a thought experiment. It reflects the dynamic and varied landscape of voting mechanisms in decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs. In this realm, the way votes are structured can significantly influence the outcomes of decisions, shaping the very fabric of governance. Let's delve into the different voting mechanisms that empower DAOs and consider how these structures can affect decision-making. One prevalent method is token-based voting. In this system, members hold tokens that represent their stake in the organization. The more tokens you possess, the more influence you have when it comes to casting your vote. This approach mirrors traditional shareholder voting in corporations, where larger shareholders have a louder voice. While it can create efficiency in decision-making, it raises questions about equity and representation. What happens when a handful of members hold the majority of tokens? Are the voices of smaller stakeholders drowned out? This is where the concept of quadratic voting comes into play. Quadratic voting allows individuals to express the intensity of their preferences, rather than just a simple yes or no. In this system, the cost of casting multiple votes for a single issue increases quadratically. For example, if one vote costs 1 token, 2 votes would cost 4 tokens and 3 would cost 9. This method encourages voters to think critically about how strongly they feel about an issue, leading to more nuanced outcomes. It democratizes influence, ensuring that those with strong opinions can express them without overpowering the collective voice. Then we have reputation-based systems which operate on a different principle altogether. Here, voting power is tied to the reputation of the individual within the community. This could be based on past contributions, community involvement, or a track record of responsible decision-making. Such a system aims to reward long-term engagement and foster a sense of accountability among members. However, it also risks creating a hierarchy where new or less active members might feel disenfranchised. To illustrate these diverse mechanisms, let's look at a few successful DAOs that have implemented them effectively. Take, for instance, the DAO governing a popular decentralized finance platform. They utilize token-based voting to facilitate quick decisions on protocol upgrades, allowing those who have invested financially to steer the direction of the platform. On the other hand, Consider a community-led DAO focused on environmental initiatives, which has adopted quadratic voting to ensure that all voices, especially those from marginalized groups, are heard in discussions about project funding. Each of these examples underscores how the choice of voting mechanism can dramatically influence a DAO's governance and the outcomes of its decisions. As we explore these mechanisms, it becomes clear that the structure of voting within a DAO is not merely a technical detail. It shapes the paradigms of trust and accountability, redefining how communities function together in a decentralized world. The question remains, how will these mechanisms evolve as DAOs continue to grow and adapt? What new models might emerge to address the inherent challenges of governance in a decentralized framework? The answers to these questions will help us understand the future of collective decision-making in DAOs. Imagine a community fund managed by a DAO, where every member contributes not just financially, but also through their insights and expertise. Now, picture this fund facing an unexpected financial crisis, perhaps a sudden market downturn or a natural disaster impacting local businesses. How would the DAO respond? This scenario serves as a powerful thought experiment to explore the real-world applications of DAOs and their capacity to navigate challenges that arise outside the parameters of pre-coded smart contracts. Unlike traditional organizations where decisions often rest with a select few, DAOs can leverage the collective intelligence of their members to devise flexible strategies. This adaptability is crucial in times of crisis, as it allows for decisions that are informed by real-time data and diverse perspectives. One prominent example of a successful DAO is MakerDAO, which governs the DAI stablecoin. When the cryptocurrency market faced volatility, MakerDAO's community quickly rallied to adjust collateralization ratios and implement risk management strategies, demonstrating the agility that a decentralized structure can offer. Such responsiveness is not merely a luxury, it is a necessity in our rapidly changing world. DAOs also find their footing in open-source projects, where the governance model empowers developers and users alike to contribute to decision-making processes. Take Gitcoin, for instance, a platform that connects developers with funding opportunities. Through its DAO, community members can vote on which projects receive grants, ensuring that the projects with the most potential for impact receive the support they need. This not only fosters innovation, but also creates a sense of ownership and accountability among participants. However, as we delve deeper into these applications, it's crucial to recognize the complexities that come with them. While DAOs can adapt to unforeseen challenges, they also face hurdles such as the risk of decision paralysis or groupthink, where too many voices can lead to indecision rather than action. Imagine again our community fund DAO facing a crisis. If every member has a say, how do they reach a consensus quickly enough to effectively address the issue? This is where the balance between collective input and efficient governance becomes paramount. It raises the question of whether some decisions should be streamlined or delegated to smaller groups within the DAI to enhance responsiveness. As we ponder these scenarios, we must also consider the ethical implications of decision-making in a decentralized context. Who is accountable when a decision goes awry? In a traditional organization, the chain of command typically provides clarity, but in a DAO, accountability can become murky. Each member's investment in the community fund means that they have a stake in its success, but it also means they share the burden when things don't go as planned. This shared responsibility is both a strength and a challenge. It encourages participation and engagement, but it also necessitates a robust framework for ethical decision-making. As we reflect on these real-world applications, it's clear that DAOs are not just theoretical constructs. They are actively shaping how communities can organize, make decisions, and respond to challenges. The potential for DAOs to enable collective action in a decentralized manner is profound, yet it requires careful consideration of the dynamics at play. As we move forward, we will explore the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for DAOs, particularly in balancing the benefits of automation with the irreplaceable value of human judgment. Can a fully automated organization truly make the best decisions for its community? This question invites us to explore the delicate balance between the efficiency of decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs, and the complexities of human decision-making. Imagine a world where every decision is made by algorithms, where the rules are preset and the outcomes are predictable. On the surface, this sounds appealing. Swift resolutions, minimal bureaucracy, and the promise of impartiality. Yet as we dive deeper, we must confront the inherent risks that come with this approach. While DAOs offer innovative governance solutions, they raise significant questions about accountability and ethical decision-making. What happens when the cold logic of code encounters the unpredictable nature of human behavior? Consider a DAO tasked with managing a community fund. If it relies solely on automated processes, it might overlook the nuances of a pressing social issue, such as the emotional impact of a crisis that requires empathy and understanding. In such cases, the absence of human oversight could lead to decisions that, while efficient, lack compassion and fail to serve the community's best interests. The future of DAOs will hinge on their ability to integrate human judgment with these automated processes. We must ask ourselves how we can design these systems to ensure they are not only efficient, but also responsive to the values and aspirations of the communities they serve. For instance, imagine a scenario in which a DAO must decide on funding for local projects. An algorithm might prioritize quantitative metrics, such as potential return on investment, while disregarding qualitative aspects, like community sentiment or cultural significance. Here lies the challenge. Can we program human values into the decision-making algorithms of DAOs, or will we always need a human touch to navigate the moral landscapes of governance? As we reflect on these questions, it becomes clear that the future of governance with DAOs is not merely about replacing human decision-makers with machines. Rather, it is about finding a harmonious coexistence between the two, leveraging the strengths of automation while acknowledging the irreplaceable value of human insight. In this evolving landscape, we must remain vigilant, ensuring that as we embrace the innovations of DAOs, we do not lose sight of the ethical considerations that underpin our communities. The road ahead is fraught with challenges, yet it is also ripe with opportunities for creating governance structures that are more inclusive, responsive, and ultimately just.